pop on mute for a second. What's going on, family? What's going on? Can you guys hear me okay? I can't hear y'all. Y'all on mute. Uh, Hold on, let me figure this out right quick. All right, there you go. Mic check, mic check.
I hear echo.
Echo? Everybody hear echo?
No.
No, I
No,
don't.
They say it's in the chat too.
I hear a little bit of.
I don't hear echo. Mic check, mic check.
1 2 1 2.
All right, can you guys hear
One,
echo?
two, and two.
Okay, well, I think we're good. They say no more echo. Okay.
Okay. What about you guys? You get echo on your end?
Nope, no echo on my
I
side.
don't think so.
Okay.
Good.
Well, it's good to see you guys. We think we lost somebody. Did we lose somebody?
Uh,
Mm.
yeah,
Yes.
we
Okay.
lost Detroit.
Okay. That's Chelsea.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Using some new software, family, so bear with
she
me.
goes.
I don't think I like it. And people
Y'all
texting
see
me,
me? Or hear me?
Mm-hmm.
telling me all
Back.
Okay.
types of stuff is going. Okay, you back. Okay, I thought we lost you. So
Okay, cool.
good to see you guys. Welcome to the solution on the Lapeef Experience page. If you guys haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I see we got HR in the building. Shout out to HR. He said get the likes up. So if you guys want to fill out that hurt feelings report, that is still readily available. Y'all gotta give me some excitement, man. This is they say it's a white noise is loud, Jr. So everybody mute in between. I'm not feeling this new software. I think it might have something to do with the noise. Everybody muted in between. Is everybody mute? Okay.
I'm not mute right now, but I'm on mute.
Okay. Yeah. I think that might be from your ENT. So make sure you mute in between because I don't hear it
I
anymore.
was off that time. It wasn't me. I
Wasn't
was on mute.
okay. There's a whole lot going on here, and it's got me. I'm not. I feel like I'm not prepared because of this new software, so I'm not going to use it again. Marquise Keys says good now. Shout out to all the Green Gang that's in the chat. If you want to become part of the Green Gang, that link is pinned to the top of the chat. So we got Sean Gates in the building as well. Salute to you, sir. And we had a lot of people that's was typing before the stream even started. So salute to you. How y'all ladies doing?
Doing good.
Doing
How about
good.
you?
Good.
Y'all doing good?
Amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
Doing
Yeah.
great.
I had to keep that conversation going for a couple minutes for me, a couple minutes. Y'all just
Okay.
focus amongst yourself right quick while I just do this one last thing.
Why you figured out?
Mm.
Yeah, I'm still hearing that noise. I wonder who that noise is coming from.
I think
I'm
we.
gonna mute mine and tell me.
I still hear it.
Is it still there? Is it maybe mine? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think we do have to mute in between on this, or else that sound will happen.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just software is making it pick up. Yeah, whoever just muted, you are the corporate. So
Wait. Again?
yeah, that's definitely you.
Do you have a fan on? Maybe a fan or something like this.
You're still on mute.
Maybe I,
And that's the thing.
yes,
You gotta mute in
I just
between, but you
realized.
gotta remember to unmute.
Maybe I have to try it out with my phone because it's not really working with my laptop. I don't know if
I
that's
don't
the
hear it
issue.
as bad right now, but I mean,
Okay.
no problem. So I am definitely not going to be doing this again. To think I was going to do this on Thursday. Um, yeah. So what else is new? How was everybody's weekend? I can stay a couple more minutes. How was everybody's weekend? Everybody good?
Pretty good.
Yeah, my
Spent it with
weekend was
family.
lit. Hmm.
Relaxing.
Y'all got to keep it up, man. Y'all just saying these one word responses. That's not the goal. Have a conversation amongst yourself. But I go ahead and just plug this one last thing in.
Okay,
Hmm.
yeah. Well, my weekend was awesome. I spent it with family. All the kids came together. That was me and my cousins. We were the cool aunties slash cool moms. So yeah, it was fun. What did you guys do?
I worked on Friday and Saturday all day, but on Sunday I went brunching with my cousin and friends. So it
Fun.
was cool.
And I know the weather's beautiful in Miami right now, right? Jealous. I was supposed to be out there this past weekend, but didn't happen. Belle?
And I live in Germany, so there's not really much going on. I have to apologize if I maybe don't speak that fluently
No
because
You
apologies.
don't have to apologize
maybe
for
I
you
that.
appreciate
also don't like
accents.
German movies, you know. So I will I will start
So
talking step by step when I feel like ready to speak fluently. But I would love to hear from you, ladies.
there's
First.
nothing fun to do in Germany on the weekends, like bar hopping or nothing like this.
I don't really go to bars
Oh
because
wait, okay.
yes,
Your
so
religion?
I
Oh,
no, I had, but I'm already 31, so my time is like
oh,
over here because here mostly the 18 to 21 years old the ones
go to
going
bar.
to yes.
Wow. And okay, but what about other things that you do as adult fun? You don't have to go to a
Yes,
bar or a party, but you could do something else like sightseeing or go to the beach. I don't know what you guys have over there. I have the beach.
yes. Depends because I got hit by a car on Friday, so my
Oh my
weekend was a little
God.
bit
I'm sorry to
relaxed.
Well,
hear
thank
that.
God you lived to tell us that,
Oh,
and I hope
wow.
Yeah,
you are
amen.
okay and have a speedy recovery.
Yeah, amen. Thank you. But I feel better, so I didn't break anything or something, so it's all good.
Amen. Hmm.
It's all good. Yeah. And what about you, Chelsea?
Yeah, for me this weekend, I just went to Cheesecake Factory to get me a cheat meal. That's all I pretty much did. Just had some good food and relaxed. Yeah, because especially with the time change, that was a mess adjusting to that whole daylight savings time. So, yeah,
It
just
didn't
chilling.
even affect me. The time change didn't even affect me.
Really.
I don't
Yeah.
even know if we had one. Wait. Summer outside.
So I just discovered something
Oh
else
no.
that just wasn't gonna work for me either.
Uh-oh.
Any video that I want to play right now, I can't even upload it. It's crazy.
Oh no.
Mm,
Should we
We
switch?
need the video.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna play the audio version, just the audio only, and I'll play it through my thing. But yeah,
Okay.
that's what I
Can
was
you put
trying
it
to
in the
figure out.
internal chat, maybe?
Hmm? No,
Oh,
I'm,
wait,
I'm
but
gonna
then
just
how are the viewers gonna see it?
I'm gonna just play the audio. The audio is cool. All we need is the audio. We don't really need the visual, so I'm just gonna play the audio and then we'll just do it from there. So
Okay.
no worries about that. My apologies again on that. Um, I hate for you guys to be the test on this. I know you kept saying it. Lady C just kept saying it. So I'll
Um,
go ahead and see if we can work this through. Anyhow, my weekend was decent. What's today? Today Monday?
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, my weekend was decent. Went to a few restaurants. I can't even actually remember what I did. Oh, went out with Humble Dad. We went out with Humble Dad and this lady, and we had a good time. It was a decent time. We went out Saturday, played a little bit of, guess you guys would call it miniature golf. Boy, y'all, I make sure I don't pick y'all for a team, man. Y'all need to help me out here. Y'all just got me out here looking
No, Minister Moses,
right, man.
what?
Ragged struggle streaming.
How you blaming it on us? We here riding it out with you.
Y'all ain't
Yeah,
right.
we're sticking
Man.
it through.
Like, what?
This software, so I'm never using this shit again. I'm so glad I didn't pick do this stuff on Thursday.
If
Cause
it's not broke, don't fix it. The other platform was perfect, so you didn't have
yeah,
to
I
change
mean,
it.
well,
It was what was
it
wrong with
said it
it.
was better, but it's not allowing me to. It keeps saying my files are too big to even put the videos on. I can't even share it on my screen. They're just saying
Yeah,
it's not
this is
supported by
supposed to
Mac.
be.
It's crazy.
We were supposed to do a dress rehearsal so that you could figure it out because
I tried. I tried. Let me see. Uh, stop sharing. Hold on. Share video. Let me do this. Maybe this might be it right here.
that's mute in between y'all.
Okay, I got it. I figured it out.
You
I
muted
figured it out. You might be
the
on the
video.
team right now.
Yay!
Okay, you might be
Celebrate,
on team.
celebrate.
Hold tight. Hold tight. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video and get you guys' reaction. Here we go.
Is. And a lot of times, like, people just grow apart. You feel me? And that's why I said to the first woman, like, you don't get to play judge with someone else, because you'll start to determine, like, oh, you're not growing fast enough for me. Like, you don't know how close that person is to their next blessing, to their next
What?
chapter. You don't know how far they are, and you don't know when your fall off coming. You feel me? Like, when you up, it'd be easy to tell somebody else that they need to grow faster and they need to do more. You feel me? Now, here's the thing. I ain't telling y'all to be with nobody who money up and up your money. All right? Again, if you don't have the capacity, go. You feel me? I don't care how locked in y'all are. I don't care what y'all going through. If you don't have the capacity, if it's ruining your ability to show up healthy and whole in the relationship, go. I don't care if it's for money or whatever, bro. Like, it's cool that you out. You don't have to say you outgrew the person. You outgrew y'all's relationship. You don't have to judge that person like that and make yourself seem better than them or higher than them. It's just that this relationship it don't got enough space for who I am anymore. And that's all right. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, because I'm gonna fuck your growth up too. So I'm gonna go.
All right, there you go. To say you outgrew the person. You guys, hold on. Did you guys catch that video? You heard it? Okay.
Yeah.
I want to get you guys' thoughts. Who wants to go first?
I mean, I guess I'll go since everyone's so eager.
Everybody else muted me, twin.
I mean, I think that typically means that you develop beyond a point where the relationship you have with the person is meaningful or fulfilling. And I agreed with a lot of what he was saying. Sometimes it could be difficult to realize that emotionally. You might feel guilty sometimes, especially if you're like close with the person. Um, but yeah, if you feel like being around someone is gonna stunt your growth or theirs, because y'all can no longer serve each other, sometimes it's okay to prioritize that and let go of it for the sake of your well-being and let them go. You know what I mean? And love them from a distance, like, because it happens with family members, it happens with friendships, it happens with relationships, and I feel like a lot of times, like, it happens naturally in life. So, like, it's necessary to know when you're overstaying your welcome in a person's life and when somebody may be overstaying their welcome in yours. So, that's my little takeaway from that.
Okay, I think I corrected the issue. You guys hear the hissing?
No,
Okay,
it went away.
we getting to it.
Hey!
All right.
Yeah, it sounds clear.
Hey, yeah, way better.
I still don't like it. I still got to play around with it a little bit more. But what do you guys thought about that? Outgrowing someone?
Awesome. Shout out to
Don't
JR. He
say
figured it out.
I guess I'm
to
gonna
say
call him
you
something too.
outgrown.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'll talk. To say you outgrew somebody, he said, don't say you outgrew somebody. I kind of understand that. Like, you're supposed to meet somebody where they're at right now. If you're gonna mess with somebody or you have a relationship with somebody, that's where they are right now. who are you to judge? Like, you think you better to say like, oh, I outgrown this person. No, this person wasn't for me. They weren't, doing it for me, whatever the case may be. But saying you outgrow is kind of like acting like basically like you're better than the person. Because you could be an assistance, like you could help that person develop, you could help that person get better, you could help that person make money, you could help them be smarter, you could show them ways. So if you don't want to do that anymore because you feel like they less than you, that you outgrew them, that means you don't want to be with that person, because if they are not fulfilling, your expectations, or if you have any expectations, they're not fulfilling them. So I get why he said don't say you outgrew somebody, because then it just seems like you think you're better or you're doing something more amazing. What does that mean?
Yeah. Yes, I have to agree with Carol Boss, because I also think that most times it's when you don't really had a connection with this person to begin with, so it's easy to say that you outgrew them when like the feelings changed. But most times it's like you changed and you just realize that you don't really feel that person that much, so you want to go out there and you just say, okay, outgrew them. But if there was a real connection, most times it's possible for you guys to just grow together. So if one person steps out of it, it's this person who is just leaving or stepping out the relationship. It's not really that he or she outgrew the other person, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Okay. So now, what are your thoughts about that video and just in general?
Yeah, I like what everybody's been saying so far. I guess I see it a little bit differently. To at one point he hit on like, you never know when somebody's gonna, turn whatever corner, right? And I think that brings up the fact that growth isn't linear. It's not just one direction, it's not one speed. It's its own journey, right? Sometimes it gets messy, sometimes it gets hard, sometimes there's a rest period. And so I think if we don't have compassion for people whose growth doesn't look like ours, I think we're missing out on meaningful connections, right? I think a lot of people think that other people are so easily disposable. And I think anybody who has that mindset, if we're not growing at the same pace, then where one of us is outgrowing the other, I think that is so disrespectful to people's individual journeys. So I think people just need to slow down a little bit and maybe reevaluate things, and see what that kind of brings up in relationships, not just romantic relationships, but like Lady T said, when it comes to friendships or family members, to just pause and understand, where are you at in your journey versus like, oh, this person's stagnant or they've reached their growth, their max growth.
All right. Um, Go ahead, Chelsea. What are your thoughts?
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say when I thought about somebody outgrowing somebody, I thought about Tia Mari. That's the first person, especially with her talking about I graduated from this relationship, I graduated from this marriage, and I'm saying especially when it comes to a relationship, there's no reason for you to outgrow one another, and if you are, you got to go back to the table and figure out what your goals are as a couple, right? So especially when you're married, just saying you graduate out of this marriage sounds kind of selfish, and I think that we like growth is a three-dimensional thing. So at the end of the day, you may outgrow somebody in a particular area, but that someone can still be an asset in your life. So overall, I don't think we can really outgrow people. I think it's really three-dimensional, and there's different aspects of growth. So if there's somebody who you really outgrew and they're not on the same mindset as you, it's probably because they never were from the get-go, and you got to kind of vet properly when it comes to relationships and the people you associate with.
All right. Just real quick. How does the box look to you guys? If it's everybody in frame, because Carol boss is sitting more vertical, and I'm not really sure if she's being seen or not. How's it look on y'all, man?
So I see what you see in the live preview, but backstage we see her full, like, well, I see her full, like, full box, like, full screen. Maybe it's because she's on her phone.
Yeah, I know the phone is more vertical.
Was it like that the whole time, or it just happened like
No,
that?
it just
No?
it be like that. It's just a little
Let me
slow.
see.
Crazy.
Honestly, on the just so you know, on the TV, it's very blurry.
Well, if you go to
It's
your
really
settings
blurry.
and change your camera resolution, it might help, Carol.
No, I'm just saying on the TV it's very blurry, period. Like the other platform, it's not blurry at all. But on this platform, we all look not so clear.
Whatever, wait, what you did just now, that view was pretty cool.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, but okay, but
I don't want. I don't have to be in this big ass box. Guess I'm just gonna leave it like this. But let me get rid
yeah,
of them
that
names.
makes sense.
Names in the way. Custom. Is that better?
I think so, but I don't know what you see on your side.
I'm
Or
never using this again.
or you just gotta figure it out. It might actually be good, but using it to day at a show, you just gotta
I
test
think
it
you
out.
have a tester show and work out all the kinks.
Yeah, I agree.
Like just have
Yeah,
like a tester show.
Mhm.
yeah. I'm not doing this. Anyhow,
Well,
nobody
you
else play?
about that when you started with StreamYard, but then you got prolific at it. So
No, I think StreamYard is better right now. This is it gives you a lot of flexibility, but it's ready to go on cropped in too. Has everybody cropped in, and if you vertical using your phone, this is crazy. Anyhow, go ahead. Who hasn't answered the question yet? Everybody answered.
No.
Okay. Who hasn't answered? I know Kelly hasn't, but anybody else?
Carol, did you answer?
Yeah, I answered.
Yeah, she did answer. Okay, Kelly, what are your thoughts about it? Did you see the video? All
I didn't go over it real quick.
right, let me go ahead and I'll play it one more time. Got to work out something too. Where is it? Here we go.
Is. And a lot of times, like, people just grow apart. You feel me? And that's why I said to the first woman, like, you don't get to play judge with someone else, because you'll start to determine, like, oh, you're not growing fast enough for me. Like, you don't know how close that person is to their next blessing, to their next
What?
chapter. You don't know how far they are, and you don't know when your fall off coming. You feel me? Like, when you up, it'd be easy to tell somebody else that they need to grow faster and they need to do more. You feel me? Now, here's the thing. I ain't telling y'all to be with nobody who money fucked up and fucking up your money. All right? Again, if you don't have the capacity, go. You feel me? I don't care how locked in y'all are. I don't care what y'all going through. If you don't have the capacity, if it's ruining your ability to show up healthy and whole in the relationship, go. I don't care if it's for money or whatever, bro. Like, it's cool that you out. You don't have to say you outgrew the person. You outgrew y'all's relationship. You don't have to judge that person like that and make yourself seem better than them or higher than them. It's just that this relationship it don't got enough space for who I am anymore. And that's all right. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here, because I'm gonna fuck your growth up too. So I'm gonna go.
All right, Miss
Thank,
Kelly, what are your thoughts about it?
thank you for that. So is the question, can you outgrow someone? Is that what the question is, or just
It
commenting?
was just it was just your immediate thoughts about outgrowing someone. I mean, typically when people say they outgrew someone, it's the opposite of what he said. I think this gave a different spin to it. So, what are your thoughts about what he said and
I
just in general?
I think you can outgrow someone, Be, because some people don't want to grow. Some people want you to accept them for who they are, exactly how they are, and just be happy with where they are when you meet them. Like, you married me like this, you chose me like this. And if you have goals and dreams and drive and you keep going, 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 and they're just like, I'm happy being couch potato. This makes me happy. I go to work and I come home, kick my feet up, and have my TV dinner. That makes them happy, and they don't have any other aspirations in life. Yes, you can outgrow them if you have ambitions or drive, or vice versa, women as well. My father was extremely ambitious, so but he used to always say you can't push a wet noodle. I don't think that was his saying, but like, you can help someone, you can bring them along, you can motivate them, but you cannot make them do anything they don't want to do. But I also think that comes into play with having a conversation before you get married, before you enter into a relationship, and ask them like, what are their dreams and goals? Because he used to always say, if you have a purpose and a plan for your life, you should align that purpose with a person that's going in the same direction as you, not going in the opposite direction. So if the person wants to be a superstar and travel the world and sing, but you want to be an accountant, it's you're never going to be together. You're always going to be apart. You're always going to be separate. So your goals don't even align. Better, oh, he's a musician and I'm a singer and we're going in the same direction. Like have somebody with the same drive as you, the same ambitions, and you're heading in the same direction. And it's a lot easier to grow together than apart. Those are my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it goes back to what I was saying. Like, you have your goal, and the person has their goal. If their goal is to be more laid back and just doing a regular routine, nothing too exceptional, and then maybe you have a high performance type of person that wants to do this, that, and the other, have all these things that they want to accomplish. Okay, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm outgrowing that person. I could say that we're not aligned, meaning like I have this direction I want to go and I need the support going this way. I don't need the support where you're going because we're going two different ways. So instead of just saying like, oh, we outgrown each other, we could just say we didn't have the same goals. We disagreed on what we were trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? Our relationship wasn't moving because I wasn't happy because he wasn't or she wasn't supporting me where I'm going or where I'm at right now. And usually when you get in a relationship, you get in with the relationship with a person because they're supporting you in your life. You know, they support your dreams, your goals, and they love you and nurture you
I
to
have a,
grow in your own time. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
have,
you have to be patient a little bit if
is
you
it
love that person.
is it Carol? Is it Carol?
Yeah, Carol.
I have a question. Have you seen it in relationships? I have. I'm wondering if anyone else has, where there's one person that's very ambitious, and because the other one's not, it's like they almost try to like hold them back or like pull them or like
Mm-hmm.
go do that. I don't want you out. No, 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 no. So it's almost like you can't reach your full potential if they're not supporting you, but almost like pulling you backwards.
Yeah, that's the worst, to be tied to somebody that doesn't like support your growth or like almost resents you for being in another space. And then they secretly compete with you, or they're like jealous of like, your social circles and stuff. I've dealt with that in the past where
Yeah,
like
I've seen that too.
they'll say like little like sketchy things like, oh, must be nice, or the little shady things anytime you
Yeah.
mention stuff that you're doing or like networking events that you have to go to. They don't really see the significance of it or understand why you would value that over spending time with them. Yeah, it's always like a power struggle in those types of dynamics. So that's when it ends up being like, you know more, it makes more sense for you to like accept that you guys are not on the same page, or in this hypothetical situation that we're not on the same page, and keep it pushing, because that's how things get toxic and stressful and just just not okay.
Is it possible to recognize that before marriage though?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so 100% no. Because you got to go through all the phases of somebody when you meet them and you get to know them, and then you guys see how you guys live your life, and things change over the years. And yes, something could change for me that you don't love it, you don't like it for me.
We
But
always
if
talk
you're
about pretty
loving,
privilege, but we don't talk about the handsome handout.
huh?
You,
I thought
that,
you said the
JR
doctor.
gotta mute his mic. We hear everything he's doing over there.
Yeah, so you just want to find somebody that's aligned with you that will keep a positive like outlook about your future together. Because I know then just like that, those dynamics that you talked about, that's definitely I've seen the partner not supporting where the person was going. But then I've also seen dynamics where the person completely evolved into a different wave, but the love that the people or the couple shared, they just learn to support them in that dynamics now, because you're like, oh, okay, my man now he is doing this. He got to travel for work. a boss, maybe I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna travel with him, or I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? However you feel like it's possible for you to support each other through those changes, the love is what's supposed to keep you guys together. Now, if you feel like, okay, now I'm booming and my woman, oh, she was, I don't know about that, you know, the Derrick Jackson guy, he became booming and his woman was a simple woman. And that's nothing wrong with that. She could have still supported him through him booming, but it just seemed like he lost like the respect and the love wasn't there anymore. Or maybe it was convenient for him at his first stage, but then when he moved into the next stage and said, "Oh wow, now I have all these amazing options. I don't have to be with my simple girl," you know, and he just changed his wave. So then at that point, you would say, "Okay, I don't want to be in this relationship because now I want to try different, like new things that I never got to explore before." So now you're gonna say, okay, we can't do that together because we're married. You obviously can't go out with all the baddest bitches and all this crazy stuff that you probably want to do. But if you find that to be more valuable than what we had, then you'll just say, yeah, it's not working. I want to move in a different direction, just like businesses when they're making a different type of money. If one market is booming and that market is not, all those employees get dropped, and then they start hiring all in the new market. What's pushing? What's making money? So it is what it is. But outgrowing, no, we're just moving in this direction. You know.
So I want to say too, because we do often talk about the negative experiences to the example that Kelly gave, right? Just because they tend to be loud and in our face. But there's an echo. Um, but at the same time, like there are people that make that dynamic work, where somebody who is really, really ambitious, and somebody who is happier in their lifestyle, who isn't necessarily has such grandiose ambitions, where they balance each other out, right? Where the person who has less ambition starts to kind of take on a little bit more ambition, starts to get a little bit more excited about the things they're doing, and the person who's overly ambitious starts to balance their lifestyle a little bit more, right? There are people that make it work all the time. And I think it's interesting, right? Because a lot of the times men talk about having traditional marriages, right? A lot of times a traditional marriage, that wife is not ambitious in terms of like the material world, right? She's not out there hustling all the time. She might be ambitious in the way she's rearing her children, or taking care of her domestic duties and all of that stuff. Or maybe she's really ambitious in, community work that might push your career forward. But those ambitions look differently because that person's at home or in the community versus out in the workforce, right? And so it goes back to what I was saying earlier, that sometimes we need to take a look at our own criticism of other people's journey and really analyze, like, is this person really not growing, or really not growing to the rate that I want them to, or is this just the journey that they're specifically on?
Okay. I was hearing that feedback. I think it might have been you, Enos, when you muted it. Stopped. Um, this is crazy. You're interesting. Everyone else is.
Let's push through.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to chime in on that topic?
I just think it's much easier when for example, when you're in a relationship, everybody's on the same ambition level. It's much easier that way. I've dealt with a situation where, as a software engineer, I'm dealing with people who have maybe a lesser career status, and you're going out to these different events, you're trying to socialize with folks, and they don't know what to do because they've never been exposed to that, and that leads to that jealousy, as y'all were mentioning before. So I just think it's important to really have if you're in a relationship where a man have more ambition than a woman has, really to lead her as he's supposed to be that leader. I think it's just more natural in that way versus a woman coming in and trying to lead this man. It just doesn't make sense. It's really out of order, and I think that's where a lot of chaos comes in relationships. So for me, I'll have to have a man who's at least at my ambition level, at least on mine, because it'll just make things easier, and we won't have as much complications as we would if we were out of that dynamic.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that too, for sure. When women are the more ambitious one, they tend to be more masculine and feel like they're not safe enough to rest, you know, and be chill, and that creates that power struggle because any man who's not complacent or content with being mediocre is just not going to settle for that. And he'll eventually feel like he's being emasculated. And some women can't handle being in that position because they do end up being disrespectful and emasculating him. So yeah, I feel you with that, Chelsea, for sure.
Everything okay?
Now it
No,
is.
it
Yeah.
is. Yes.
No, she just disappeared. I was like, where'd she go? She probably got a phone call because she's on her phone. So,
Yeah, that could be the case. Okay. Thought it was just me. Uh,
oh, she's
I don't
yeah,
back.
know what happened, but my whole screen reloaded. I didn't touch anything.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought you got a phone call.
You're back on.
Oh,
Sorry, Lapeef. It wasn't me. I didn't
we
do
gonna
nothing.
be all right.
it's all good. I was gonna go ahead and keep pushing through.
Hmm.
You guys just tune in. Welcome to the solution on the Lapeef Experience. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And our apologies on the stream. This is new software that I attempted to try today, but it will never look like this again, no time soon. And I promise you, this will never happen again. So just bear with us as we continue to struggle stream tonight. With that being said, is everybody muted? Okay, let's make sure we mute in between family. Uh,
Oh,
appreciate that.
Belle.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
All right, I got this video I'm gonna play from tonight's conversation where she speaks on handsome handout. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that clip. Let's try this, see if this works.
Handsome handout, right? So men like you, men like Rico, men like Mike,
Don't
y'all
put me in
handsome,
that box.
y'all got things going for yourself. So bitches is going to give it up more fast, and they're
And I'm
not going to
money.
require as much from you because you're
transactional.
handsome.
And then
so you
it's
get used
validating to
so,
feel like I
so
can
you
pull
get
this
used
type
to.
of-
I don't have to do as much when I'm there because I don't need to. Because look at all these women who didn't make me. So that's what you get. What we call the
Thank God
handsome
I'm
handout,
saved.
and that's
Okay.
it.
Thank God
You
I'm
just made it
saved.
up for me. Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
So,
Can I just add that? Can I add to
and
that?
it's nothing. I also want to add, it's nothing wrong with that because if women aren't making you, then you don't have to. And if that's what you're
Mike,
used to,
then
that's
you.
what you got.
Mike.
All right, different spin to it. Handsome handout is the phrase that she's using. What do you guys reactions to that video?
Eesh. Unfortunately, I think it's pretty accurate for some women. I mean, when they're not used to dating extremely attractive men anyway, to just be to fall victim and fall victim to the attractive guy that does bare minimum. That definitely happens. Like I have a lot of guy friends that speak to that. Like associates, I participate in conversations where they're saying that all the time. They do bare minimum, and they still get what they want. They still quote unquote having their way with women because the standards are so low. The boundaries are not set like they say they are. They make concessions for these quote unquote attractive guys based on them being attractive and not much else. So she's pretty much I think she's speaking facts on that. That does happen. That does exist for sure. And I mean, the other part of that is like a lot of men don't feel the need to do more because they're okay with resting in their mediocrity. Especially if women aren't letting them feel or aren't making them feel like they have to do much of anything to get what they want anyway. So, and it's the swipe culture. So if you don't like it and you don't want to if you don't want to give me what I want, it's going to be another chick because I know I look good that's going to give me what I want so you can move around. So yeah, I agree with what she was saying.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Who came off the mic? Who was that? I don't know what it is. I'm going to go ahead and call on somebody else. Go ahead, Chelsea. What are your thoughts about it?
Right, I agree with what Lady T was saying. It's pretty much like pretty privilege, right? The same thing where you think your looks can get you so far, and to me, that's just like you said, Lady T, mediocrity to think that way. But a lot of women, the better he looks, the more blind they become to all the bull that he's saying, right? It's literally like a filter to all the stuff he's saying. And y'all think just because he looks good that he's the one for you, and that's why women get caught up, just like the 7 women and the 7 women with that man who created 7 kids out here. So in that case, I mean, have thought he looked good. What you say, Kelly?
Was he good looking?
Well, to them, it must have been, I guess.
Yeah, I keep hearing about him, but I haven't actually seen him.
Yeah, he looks really dusty, dingy looking, but that's just my opinion on him. But nonetheless, they took a chance with him, and I'm saying y'all are recreating. Who played the song? Wait, y'all are recreating these broken families that we have here. He comes from a 2-parent household, but he's creating broken families. So what I'm saying is that women, we're blind to everything a man is saying, all because he looks good, instead of giving the guy who maybe doesn't look that good a chance just because you want somebody who can look good in your Instagram photos.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna,
Go ahead, Miss Kelly.
I was gonna say the same thing as Chelsea. Handsome handout sounds like it's equivalent to pretty privilege for men. It's pretty privilege for men. So I would say, unfortunately, that is correct. I agree with everything that the woman said in the video. I wrote, society rewards beauty, unfortunately, which really irritates me because I think beauty is not something you do anything for. People always say, "Oh, you're so beautiful." I'm like, thanks. My parents got together, they made a good milkshake, and God blessed it. Like, you don't have anything to do with what you look like. Instead of rewarding your personality, which you have to work on, your intelligence, which you have to work on, like your talents, like everything that you have to actually pour work into, those are the things that should be rewarded. But unfortunately, it's beauty. Oh, you look good, so here, you can have everything. That is unfortunate, but I know it's true because I know a lot of kept men, and all they are is handsome. My own son's father, he's a model, but people be like, "Oh my God, he's so gorgeous," and I was like, "Yeah, but he's like a Christmas present. Like, it's so beautiful on the outside, and you open it up, it's like the box is empty. Like, it's great, it looks good, but what are you gonna do with it? Dress it up, put a suit on it. Thank you. That's it. That's it. That's all I have for today."
I
Okay.
want to say something. I just feel like it's a gift that you were given from God. So if you look good, you look good. You get benefits out of it. You get benefits out of it. I don't really feel like it's anything much to talk about. If you're that shallow that you only mess with somebody just because they look good, that just shows something about your personality, your character. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm looking for an ugly man, but I'm not gonna pick a fine guy that ain't doing shit for me over a man that is decent or regular looking that does as much as he can for me and support me for real. I won't do that. So if you're the person that does that, I mean, more power to you if you put so much emphasis on this, but a gift is a gift. I'm not hating on nobody. If he's taking advantage of women with all his good looks, hey, more power to you. If the girl is taking advantage of all the guys with all her good looks, do what you want to do. But what I'm looking for, it's not going to be enough. It won't suffice. It just looks, no way.
I have a question.
Especially for a man over a woman. A woman, you don't necessarily have to do so much. A man, you have to have a strong presence. I don't want to be with no man that don't have a strong presence in my life and support, period. So he could look whatever he want to look. I obviously not going to look for no ugly guy, but if he's not so attractive, it's cool. I'm looking at his heart. If he has a good heart, I'm good with it.
Oh, really?
Yes, really.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Why does this happen though? Like, what happens to women when a guy like younger Morris Chestnut walks to the door? Like, what happens? Like,
Everybody
They
looks.
get butterflies, and the common sense leaves their bodies. That's what happens.
It's never happened to me before, though. There's different types of women. You gotta know that.
Oh my God.
think about
I'm
it.
like, yeah, you look good, but what else? What's up?
But
Like,
Yeah. I mean,
why does he
whatever.
have to uphold the standards because of his skin? It's just skin.
right. It's just
Why
your
can't
avatar.
wait until you're ready? Why can't he be required to do all the things that the not so attractive guy is required to do? Like, what? It's just like, oh, you're handsome.
So I think it goes to what Lady T was saying earlier, that It depends on the caliber of men that you're used to dealing with. If you're used to interacting with very attractive men, then it's no big deal. What else do you offer? Like, you're nice to look at. What is there more to you? But the problem is that the women who don't have too many interactions with those men, and it's the same thing when it's vice versa, right? Like when a man doesn't have access to a very attractive woman, very often they tend to go overboard. People just tend to like lose their senses, right? There is like the biological part of it, right? Where you want to give your offspring the best advantage possible. So you want to mate with somebody who is attractive, right?
Selective mating.
Yeah. So like there's like the animalistic biological part to it. But then there's also the social aspect of it, of what that means, that you're that person that can grab that person's attention, right? And I think that's the thing people really latch onto. You know, if I'm with this really attractive guy, then that elevates my status in terms of the eyes of society. If a man takes a really attractive woman, you know, that's proof of like his productivity, right? So I think that sometimes we say like, oh yeah, okay, people look good, but there's value, like actual value to being with somebody that's attractive. And I think like money, like any other, like power, like anything else that has value, if you don't understand its purpose and how to utilize it, then it will either consume you, destroy you, or do nothing for you.
That was a great answer, Enos. Thank you. I really appreciated that. You laid it out very nicely. Absolutely. So, is it the same for women as it is for men? If they end up with an attractive man, is it the same thing as a man having a beautiful woman? Because I know that shows his status as far as like if you see a beautiful woman with a not so attractive man, you're like, oh, he must have money. But is it the same vice versa?
I don't think it's the same. Women are social statuses for men. Like, men can get away with being medium ugly.
That's a
Like,
fact.
they can.
That's a
They
fact.
can. There are women that actually like medium ugly men, because as women, I feel like one of the concessions we make for men is that like when we really like them, they become more attractive.
It's
At
fact.
least for me.
Yeah.
Like he may not necessarily be like, you know, aesthetically pleasing to everyone, but if over time he treats me nice, he's respectful, he's a stand-up guy, he's a man of integrity, you know, he shows up in the world, he handles his business, people respect him, you're looking at him like, oh, you know what I mean? It's a little bit different. You know what I mean?
That's a
It's
fact.
not
And he could be
so
bold. You be like,
he
he
becomes
bold.
way more handsome. You heard Jay. Come on, he not ugly no more. A lot of people looking at him like he cute. He a billionaire.
Word.
Before they used to call him Joe Camel. All of a sudden, you know. So I
That's
don't
a
think it's the
fact.
same.
Yeah.
So I
I don't
disagree.
think it either.
Hey, Mike.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
What's going on, Mike? Hearing that feedback again. Is everybody muted? Whoever just muted, that was you. What's going on? I just heard it again. Who is that? This shit sucks, man. What's going on, Mike? Struggle streaming, Mike. You on mute. Okay, so whose box is that right there that's messed up?
Kelly's probably. Oh, she's
Struggle
back
stream.
now.
Gotcha.
Hi, Trigger Mike.
Hey.
Welcome to the solution.
Indeed.
We're bringing them tonight.
All right, Trigger
Huh?
Mike, you need to see that video again.
Which video?
Okay, you ain't see it. Let me,
I was about to say, yeah.
let me get you in on this.
A handsome handout, right? So men like you, men like Rico, men like Mike,
Don't
y'all
put me in that
handsome,
box.
y'all got things going for yourself. So bitches is going to give it up more fast, and they're
And I'm
not going to
money.
require as much from you because you're handsome.
And
so you
it's
get used
validating to feel like I
so
can
you
pull
get
this
used
type
to.
of-
I don't have to do as much when I'm there because I don't need to. Because look at all these women who didn't make me. So that's what you get. What we call the
Thank God
handsome
I'm
handout,
saved.
and that's it.
Okay.
God
You
I'm
just made it.
saved.
That's me. Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
So
I like it.
everybody, 30
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Can I
So
add that? Can I add to
And
that?
it's nothing. I also want to add, it's nothing wrong with that because if women aren't making you,
Nothing
then
wrong with
you don't have
I
to.
got
And if that's what you're
Mike,
used to,
then
that's
you.
what you got.
Mike.
All right, there you go, Trigger Mike.
They're getting very creative with these shorts. They're getting very creative. That was very good. I feel like that one's gonna stick. It makes a lot of it makes a lot of sense. So what's the question on the table?
We just was talking. She said handsome handout. It was just getting the reactions. Some of the ladies chimed in. I think the last point is all the ladies thought it was funny. But go ahead and say your comment. You said, Lady T.
I
Like
mean, I just said that
over
pretty
time.
much, huh?
You said when you date a man over time.
Oh yeah, I just pretty much said that like if you're used to dating a certain type of man, then you don't fall victim to this whole handsome handout thing. I also said that a lot of guys will be okay with resting in their mediocrity because there are women that are okay with tolerating bare minimum from men that look a certain way. I also said that damn, that's a few things.
It was the very last thing you said right before Kelly started struggle streaming herself, and right before Trigger Mike came on, and everybody was just like, ah.
It's okay for men to be medium ugly.
Medium,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
medium
yeah, yeah,
ugly.
yeah, yeah. I said no because she asked whether or not in
Well,
the way that women are social status a social status to men, if it's the same vice versa. And I said no, I feel like men can get away with being medium ugly as long as they have other traits. But
Yeah.
it's not the same with a woman because a man wants to pretty much walk in the I didn't say this before, but that's what I was implying. You know, a man wants to be seen with a woman that other men find attractive.
Yep.
Like so,
Yep.
as it relates to the other way, though, I feel like if women see an attractive woman with a medium ugly guy, he's gonna become that much more attractive and desirable because that's just how it is. Like,
Absolutely. I mean, it's so much that encompasses a woman's attention on what she finds desirable. Men don't even have to be cute to be desirable, right? So um, I've noticed this in many various ways. I mean, first off, we can definitely use Jay-Z as the example, right? Because take that
I
money
said
away
that.
from him, this dude looks like a donkey in the face. I
no,
mean, sometimes when they zoom in on him, I'm like, damn, this dude ugly. Zoom out. Dudes ain't even supposed to judge other dudes like that. But I can't even look at dude that long, right? So, it's easy to see, but as far as medium ugly goes for men and women, some people ain't ugly, they just broke. So sometimes your advancement in money can, lead into, you looking better, you taking better care of yourself, your skin, your haircut, your rejuvenated hairline, all of that. But yeah, it really is night and day, the difference between men and women, because I mean, look at it for what is it called? Cuffing season when it's cold. Big dudes are even a thing, right? Like girls would be like, "Ooh, I love me a chunky." Like, yeah,
Who
it's
said
a
that?
teddy bear looking ass dude. Like you see what I'm saying? So yeah,
Who
it's
said that though?
completely different night and day.
So I kind of disagree, right? Because I think that's easy to say, but I think sometimes when a woman is with a man who's significantly more attractive than her, people all of a sudden start to wonder, what has she got? Like
Mm-hmm.
people have a hard time processing it, so they start to dig, like, what is it about this woman that this man opted out of somebody more attractive and decided to pick her, right?
Right.
And to emphasize that, like maybe about a year ago, Twitter had this whole trend of like, can so and so's wife fight? Right? Because like she's not very attractive, but he's attractive. So like, can she fight? Can we fight her for him? Right? So I don't agree. I think a woman who's not very attractive, who's with a man that is very attractive, it does elevate her because it causes people to ask more questions about who she is and what she's got going on.
It does. You know what? I think you're right in a sense, but I think we're doing that thing again where it's the small minority. I don't know too many people where the woman is that much more attractive. And the when I'll say that really happens where I usually come in is if I see that, I'll ask how long they've been together. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
she aged like milk, and he probably just got better looking with age, which I think men tend to do. Some men anyway tend to do. So it's just like she kind of just crow's feet and all of that and all of that. So I think there's some nuance to it, but yeah, I think you are right.
So I
I
asked
have
my
questions. If your wife looked like crazy, if I for some of the dudes I know and what we used to do like in college, then I see the woman they decided to get with and I meet her, I'm definitely talking about that in the hotel room. Like, damn, she got that snapping turtle. That's what it is. She got that snapping turtle.
Or they'll
What's
say
that
that
movie?
they've been
Shallow
together
Hal?
since they were kids.
What's that movie? Shallow Hal, where he don't even.
oh
I'm
wow.
thinking he don't see what we see, but it's all good as long as he loves her. You know what I'm saying?
So that's an
Yeah.
interesting. I've never heard that the perspective Inez mentioned. I did ask my brother about that. Like, why do some attractive men pick women that are plain? And then he said a lot of men want to feel safe. He said especially good-looking men because they're not used to being rejected. So you don't ever want a woman. He said no man wants a woman to hang over their head the fact that I can do better. If I leave you tomorrow, this guy wants me and this guy wants me. And that's kind of like the risk they run when they have a very attractive woman.
You know what it is too? It's a lot of logic involved. I've kind of done that once, where I tried to not cater to my vain side and be like, this girl isn't like as attractive as the girl I'm used to dating, but God, her spirit is so beautiful. And the funny thing about it is, I think it says a lot about men and what we value, because we will go down in looks to go up in cooperation.
Mm.
And too many failed experiences will make you do that quick because you realize, isn't it a stat that says the more beautiful a woman is, the more issues you may have in your marriage?
Mama.
Meaning she thinks she can just leave. She thinks she can use her beauty against you and all of that. So I can see a man getting tired of that and saying this woman is more down to earth. She's more earthy, you know, and all of that. She's not obsessed with her looks, all of that. So I can easily see that a man would do that in order to stop having that problem in his life. And then the other point I want to make is y'all are forgetting that some men are not obsessed with how they look. So that's the difference. So they might not, you may see them like, damn, look at them bone features, right? I don't know if y'all have ever seen my son. We don't know where this little Adonis came from. I'm telling you, if you ever seen my son, like his bone struck, we're like, what member of the family did he get this from? But he's one of those people that's super caring, super nurturing. Like everybody loves him, like, oh, but he's not going around acting like, I can picture him in the future not going around acting like the man because he just loves women like his mother, the more gentle, the more nurturing, the women that talk softly, they're super feminine, and she can be a six. I've seen that happen 1,000 times. He don't look at himself as that Adonis because he's always loved that more down to earth woman more, that more India Ari type more, right? So I think there's a lot to be said for that as well.
Yeah,
Trigger Mike,
Mike,
I have
they
a
said
question. Oh,
they
go ahead, Lady T.
sorry, because she said she definitely spoke to that, like what the handsome handout person, pretty much using his looks to his advantage, right? And like I almost, I almost, so on one side of it, I agree, right? There are guys that will use their looks to their advantage and be underdeveloped on the character side, right? But then I feel like similar to that of like the quote unquote women that they say have pretty privilege, um, I don't think, obviously there are no absolutes. It doesn't happen across the board. But I think it's interesting that you pointed that out because a lot of times like people don't take that into consideration and they don't pay close enough attention to realize that like I'll give an example. There was this guy I dated. Um, he was courting me or whatever. And when I met him, he used to play professional football and he led with his looks because he just knew like I'm a very attractive guy. You know what I mean? And women, of course, women would throw themselves at him. He expected me to jump through hoops. He expected me to be on him, calling him all the time. And since I didn't do that, we just kind of didn't work, right? Because a lot of times guys that feel like they present a certain type of way, they expect you to do that or else just move around. So me, I move the hell around because a lot it's like I'm used to dating attractive men that actually have good character. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times they'll think that just because they have that, that's all they need. So I yeah, I thought that was dope. And shout out to your son for not being that way. He probably has some pretty good parents.
No, he got two girlfriends, so it doesn't work
Oh
right now.
Lord.
I'm saying that being nice like that at that age gets you a lot of attention. So,
Right.
right now he's working. He had two girlfriends and working on the third. So we're gonna get that out of him soon. Though but he's a nice boy.
So, Trigger Mike, the question I have for you is that, okay, for one, I'm a Christian. I see a lot of Christian men who have dated down when it comes to looks for a woman. However, they're looking at other women who look like those nines or eight, nines, and tens that they really desire. What's up with that? Okay, because they
Oh
married
my
a
God,
plain Jane, but they
I
looking
think
at
that's a
everything that look less
perfect.
than it.
I think that's a perfect example. So this culture that we have right now, it is letting everyone take advantage of their looks. So there used to be a large slew of women where you could get a pretty girl that acted more Christian, that was very reserved and all of that. Not anymore. Everybody's using their looks to their advantage. Just go through her phone and see what she got going on, and you're gonna realize that, damn, I'm ready to be good
You
to her.
shouldn't promote that going through nobody's phone. Don't go
No,
through
no, I'm not.
nobody's
I'm not
phone.
promoting. I'm just saying, if you ever get a chance to just peruse and see what's going on, you'll be like, damn, girls really cannot resist the urge to use their looks to their advantage. Like, I don't want to really put anybody out there, but that whole I've heard somebody use the Derek Jackson and his wife thing, and they're Christians, right? So he's this huge, big, buff, dark skinned football player. You know how much ass that dude gets in college? I mean, literally loads of ass, but it's usually the girls who are not like getting as many DMs that aren't distracted by that type of lifestyle so they can continue to participate in being the all-purpose woman and being a good wife and all of that. So to your core, the reason why they have their attention, like, they know they're going to marry this woman. They know it. They know that by the time I'm done hoeing and doing all that stuff, I'm going to be back here to find a wife. But they're just peeking to make sure, are y'all still tripping over there? Like that's what basically my circle of friends did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of dudes that were in the church. I didn't grow up like every Sunday church, but I knew a lot of dudes that were like that because, the girls that we knew, the girls that would come to my parties and all that type of stuff, they would be checking for them, like, what's up with Shorty? I'd be like, nah, bro. Like 10 dudes trying to holler at her. I saw such and such pick her up. She's still using her looks for the free ride. So go on with Shorty. Go back to her. I know y'all broke up, but that's your wife right there. Go back to her. So yeah, I think that's why.
Okay, thank you. I was just curious about that because I always see these men following all these bad-looking women, but the woman that they got by their side is a plain Jane. I'm just trying to figure out that disconnect. So thank you for that.
Always. I mean, I think that's
Madonna whore complex.
what's that show? Damn it, Beyonce. When we were young, what was that movie? Carmen.
Dream girl.
Oh, yeah.
Carmen.
Damn, I'm bringing it
I
back.
forgot about that.
That's the way. That's the way insanely pretty women behave since the beginning of time. If you
With
know you pretty, it's the vanity. It's a sin. It's supposed to be an afterthought, but they make it the whole. They make it their whole life. Terrible.
Shout out to the plain Jane and Roundaway girls, okay?
Hey.
Did Belle have a chance to speak on this? I don't know if you had a chance.
Not yet. I was just waiting. I didn't want to cut you guys off. But in my opinion, it's that I also think that many guys like this, they exercise their options, but it's because many women just throw themselves on them. So if a guy is not used to this, because I think many guys when they're young, they first think of just finding this girl and maybe they fall in love, but once she breaks his heart, he enjoys every option that gets thrown on him. So I think that's why a lot of them just develop, like the guys on the videos, they were really feeling themselves. When she told them, yeah, you are pretty and that's why you get all them girls, they're just used to lead with their looks. And me as a woman, I was never really attracted to this kind of guys because I really just think a man becomes attractive when he can teach me something, and he can't really teach me something with his looks. This is not what will feed my kids later, what will make me become a better woman. So the looks, okay, that's nice, but like Lady T said, most times when you're really feeling that man, sometimes he can you first see him and you don't really think he's attractive, but when he starts talking and talking and you realize that his brain is so full, you just become like enamored or like attracted to this person more than a pretty guy just walking by and be like, "Hey girl." So it's that's not really something that could ever catch my attention, and it never did. So I think it's, yeah,
Do you want to
many
know?
little girls that just want to be like,
Do you,
you
you
know.
want to know the ta-da moment in all of this? It's
The
like a
what?
ta-da moment.
Okay.
So the ta-da moment in all of this is that if you pay attention, because this is what I did. This is what I did. If you pay attention and resist the urge to go follow the woman with their ass out, you'll realize that once you go get a woman that's more reserved and not showing off her body, underneath that big ass dress that's one size too big is all the things you like to look at in that woman that's showing you the bikini, like that look like she wearing a bikini outside. If it is, it's just true. I'm telling you. Once a man realizes that, okay, if I get in her element, if I learn to sit with her, oh my gosh, she's actually like an eight. She just doesn't. You see what I'm saying? She doesn't want to do that every day. That's where I live. I think men today have made the mistake of being obsessed with hoes, and it's actually not even their fault. Men look at flesh. It's literally we're designed to just pause. That's why our Instagram, what you call it, is full of ass because we pause on the ass. Like, damn, we weren't supposed to see it. We were supposed to work to see that type of stuff, but now it's all free and up and down our timeline. So what we do is we accidentally search that out in the women we desire. Right? Ooh, look at her looking like this. They, like I said, they distract us from going to find our wife very often. But what you'll notice if you take the urge, and I mean, to take the time to resist the urge, you can find very, very down to earth, substantive women with all of the qualities you want, and take the time to be like, damn, when we going out, when if I ask her out, the way she dressed on that date, I had one girl that I did that with, and somebody gave me that piece of advice. My boy messed it up, but she was bad. I couldn't even believe the way she came downstairs for our date. She just doesn't go out that like that every day. Right? So everybody like, where you find her at? Who was that? Dude, she's on the square every day. She's on the square every single day. Nobody be looking at her. She just be sitting there with her book reading and stuff, looking all earthy. But I took her out on a date and I'm talking about banging. So if dudes will just resist the urge to send those DMs and go after the girls who are more reserved, that are reading. Do you know where me and my wife had our like maybe not really date, but first, second, like third meetup? The library. This lady was like, I'm like, what you doing? Can I come through? Can I sit? I'm in the library. I thought she was joking. Next day, I'm in the library. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, you can find, stop going to the club. These
Absolutely.
badass, these wives be in the library, man. They be at Barnes and Noble. Y'all better find out. I'm telling y'all. I digress.
All right. You guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I just want to say welcome to the solution. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Trying out some new software, so I can't see the super chats for some reason on my end to be able to highlight them. So if you have super chatted, just want to say thank you. And if you haven't, just hit the like button. That's all we ask for. Likes are free. I'm gonna go ahead and get to the meat of the conversation because we know the ladies like the meat.
Ow.
With that being said, we'll go ahead and dive into it. This was a topic that Kelly actually brought up. Let me see if I can highlight it right now. Do good men still exist? Do good men still exist? I'm gonna go ahead and introduce this topic, Miss Kelly.
Sure. So I wanted to have the conversation because I know a lot of times in this space, um, the women get attacked, and I just like to make sure it's a balanced conversation. So I I know that there are good men out there. I experienced an amazing father, but I know that there is a difference between the men of old and the men of today. So my question is, do good men still exist? What does it look like today's time, and where do you find them? So That's my question. What the notebook trigger mic?
So I'll jump in. I think they do exist, right? I don't think that there's ever going to be a time where good men don't exist. I don't think that's realistic, right? Um, I think right now we live in a society where people are resistant to connecting, and it's more about image. I think it's more, do we look good together? Can we do the hashtag couple goals? Can we grind together? I think it's a lot of the superficial stuff, right? So I think if you're not looking for that really deep connection, I think a lot of people aren't looking for the good man. I think they're looking for the man who looks like he's a good man. So I think a lot of people are being skipped over. And I think with dating culture, so many people are getting into so many relationships. By the time you reach a good man, either he's tired of dating or you're tired of dating. And I think it just creates this fatigue where people just don't want to be good anymore because it's frustrating and it's hard, right? And I don't think it's one sided. I think we hear the men say too, like, it's hard to find a good woman, right? I think that people choose to present themselves in a way where it isn't authentic and it's not sustainable. And so you're matching up and pairing up and trying to build with somebody based on something that isn't real. So it starts to crumble and fall apart when you look for a deeper connection, right? Now, to your last question about where they are, I don't know. I missed the memo. So if somebody has it, please pass it along.
So, I'm gonna say yes, good men absolutely do exist, and I'm grateful to have a few in my life. Brothers, my stepdad, uncles. Um, my grandfather was, rest in peace. Both of them were very good men. Um, what are good men in this day and age? I think men that are honest. Men that are respectful, men of integrity. Um, they're compassionate and empathetic. Uh, they're responsible and accountable. They have a sense of duty. Um, they're, courageous. And I think the important one to point out is that they're humble because um, a lot of guys these days do let like their achievements and their status define them. So I think it's important. Wait, something just happened. But yeah, I think it's important. Those things are really important. And then, whether or not he's there to make a positive impact on you and the world and just his community. So I think those are like the main traits of like good men. Again, I do feel like they exist. Um, I know where my family members that are good men are, and I know where the good man that's in my life is. But they're out here. Oh yeah, wait. The one that I feel like is lacking and that makes a good man an extraordinary man is that he's honorable and he doesn't just take opportunities because they're presented to him, which I feel a lot of men do. Oh yeah, and he has self-discipline too. I almost forgot that. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I would consider a good man. Where to find him? I don't know. Maybe I have no idea. I couldn't tell you that. I looked up this time, but y'all got it.
Yes, I would say there are many, many good men out there. I personally, most of my encounters, if like guy friends or even in my relationships, I have to say I had luck with the guys, so I don't really have the perception of bad men running around everywhere and just harassing all the girls. But I had like a friend, all her encounters were very, very negative, but it's because the way she carried herself, she always wanted that male attention, so she got the attention of everybody who just realized, okay, she's not really I don't want to diminish her, but she was not really of substance, so she was just looking for the guy who has swag, or like she didn't really carry herself the way that she should in order to just meet nice guys. Even the guys talking to me on the streets, I never been like talked to like in the really bad way. Most times it was just they talk to you, they try to holler at you, and if you don't want, I'm just nice and say no, I'm not interested. And most times, I think 90% of the time they just step back. They don't really try to get at you like in the bad way. And so I think there are many good men, and where to find them? I think in this at same spaces you can find the bad men. It's just that many women just look for the bad men, or they just attract them, so they don't really see the good guys in between them. I think there are even more good guys than there are bad guys. So the bad guys, they just holler at 10 women, and the good guy, he's a little bit more reserved, so he's not really trying to be out there so much because he's more focused on what he wants at the end. So yeah, I would say there are a lot of good men out there. Hmm.
I agree, Bill. I think there are a lot of good men out here, and a lot of them are on their grind, just like us good women are at the end of the day. And the thing is that a lot of us women give the best to the worst of them, and then give the worst to the best of them, right? All because of their lack of knowledge when it comes to vetting, asking them what's their favorite color, asking them all the wrong questions, but expect to attract a quality man when you haven't asked quality questions for them. So I think there are great men out here in every single city. I know a lot of men who are married or some that are single. But at the end of the day, it's about making sure he finds us. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. But it's not the fact that you should be going in every man's DM shooting your shot because it's going to make you look thirsty at the end of the day. It really is. So that's the problem. Women, we're trying to attract the wrong men because you're reaching out to them instead of letting them do the reaching out. Just show yourself at where you need to be at. Not at the clubs, all the different places, but be productive. Be productive and not be worried about if he's looking at you. Focus on your grind, and I think the right one will come at that time. But there's some good men that are out there because obviously I'm a good woman, so I know there's some good men out there somewhere.
So Chelsea, I just gotta say,
Yes,
it's
sir.
it's a blood sport now. Women better jump in these men's DMs.
Oh, really?
It
It's a
is a
blood
blood
sport.
sport now.
No.
Well, I'll let
It's
them
a
go battle
blood
then.
sport now. Let me tell you. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna tell you what my wife did. Okay, so
Okay.
right around the time where I just got out of, but I was in the military, taking all the nice pictures, super buff, all of that. Got my insignia on my, she was my ex girlfriend. Now I'm living life. All the women from my past, all the new women showing up. She just kept hitting me up. I'm like, aren't you my ex? Checking on me. Just want to make sure everything's all right or whatever. It's literally that jumping in my DMs, making sure she was always visible, like, hey, I'm still interested, that got her eventually the ring. I don't know. She just made sure. That's why I'm like, listen, I was gonna say this last, but I'm gonna say it first. Ladies, more than likely, your future husband is in your past. A lot of women don't want to understand that. A lot of
I
women
agree.
are really enamored with finding a new man, some man that covers everything you want, that's new. The reason y'all break up with these men and the reason y'all divorce men 70 to 80% of the time is because you don't really know these niggas. That's why. You don't really know them, which is why you get upset and it's easy to leave them. It's easy to count them out. Think of how hard it would be if you married to leave someone you knew from high school or college, where you know everything about them. And if they drag them out of your house in the middle of the night saying they murdered someone, you will say without a shadow of a doubt, you got the wrong person. Most of y'all can't say that about your partner because you don't know them for real. You rush through it. You through a couple of months. You thought so. No, your future husband is in your past. He's just in your friend zone. You curved him. You curved the hell out of him for other opportunities. But let me get my stuff off. Y'all done made me mad. I'm out here putting on the show. The voice I put on my show. All right. So good men are the majority. Yes, they do exist. They are actually the majority, and let me explain why. We got to explain what good men means. Good men are men of good character. That's it. Dependable, intentional, reasonable, consistent. That's it. That's the only criteria. That's what we call a good man around my way, okay? So right now we live in the asterisk generation. That's why women think there are no good men. Unfortunately, women overvalue the type of man they qualify for. That's why every woman thinks she's a 10 and every woman thinks she can get an NBA player. So that's why women are saying there are no good men. After that NBA player or that dude that's high value or highly sought after in these streets, busts a woman down, has her coming over, lets her cook him breakfast so she thinks she's a girlfriend. After he discards her, then she takes all of her anger to say, ain't no good men out here. Y'all just carrying dudes. But it's because y'all keep finding the same toxic example to show you what that version of a man can do. That is the reason why some women say there are no good men. Alternatively, women also believe their future husband checks every single box on their list. No one has that. Like literally no one, I don't think, has that. Everything you have on your list, you think he's supposed to check all of these before I agree to marry him. That's another problem women have. Dating coaches have canceled their dating services because they said women, and they all cited one thing: women have unrealistic expectations. That's why women believe that there are no more good men. Now, what is the solution? Since this show is the solution, I'm not just gonna go in on women all day, right? You need more corny in your life. Corny is good. You need more corny. That dude that makes you laugh, right? That dude that makes you laugh, the dude that you've overlooked, all of that. That dude you call corny and let other people classify as corny. You need more of that in your life. For some reason, corny is that even becomes sexy as people get older. It actually becomes sexy as people get older. Women start to value this man after he's already taken, after he's everybody's favorite at the family barbecue, after your mama realized he's the most dependable man they got in their family. Then all of a sudden he becomes sexy, but you can't have him now because your cousin got him, right? So corny, you need more corny in your life. That man you think is cool, you actually don't like him. He is the source of all your hurt. He's the source of all your problems because cool doesn't mean character. It ain't got nothing to do with character. It's superficial. So y'all need to remember, you need more corny in your life, less cool. If he's corny and also happens to be cool, like Trigger Mike, you know, then you've hit the jackpot. All right? So, where else? Where else? Where to find good men? At work. I'm tired of women saying they won't date men at work. If I said your future husband is in your past, your future husband is also at work. How many hours a day do we spend at work on average in the United States of America? 8. We sleep for another 8. You spend a third of your day at work. You know that man you've been working with for years better than his wife. I'm sorry. Another woman knows him. He's not married. He's not married, Lady T. Don't look at me like that.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying. You get to know men. You get to know men at work very
Freudian
well.
slip?
No. You know what I meant. I didn't mean that.
What?
Don't be at work taking nobody's husband. But
Oh man.
you spend more time with them than another woman would. Even the woman he's dating outside. You spend all that time with him. You can absolutely marry a dude at work. Work situations can be figured out. I've known people that have left jobs and left hospitals just to go to another hospital just so they can date somebody and keep that relationship going. And of course, like I said, your future husband is also in your past. My mic is muted.
Not Trigger Mike drops the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody have thoughts on what Trigger Mike said or want to add to the
I feel like Yeah, I feel like he summed it up very well. Everything was on point. The only thing I wouldn't do is date somebody at work. But on the contrary, you could meet somebody at like a seminar, at like a seminar or something like career driven oriented, whatever, or the gym, because a lot of successful men go to the gym every day, Monday through Friday. So I feel like you could definitely find a good man there. And regular everyday life. Like honestly, you can find a good man at the gas station. You can find him at the grocery store.
I think you
Yeah, at
just
the
named
gas
probably
station.
2 or 3 of the worst places I've ever.
At
The
the gas
gym
station.
and the
The
gas
gym,
station.
The
no.
Okay.
gym is where all the creeps
Yeah,
go to
Yeah,
go.
I'm like,
not
what?
true. You gotta be able. You gotta be able to
Man,
know. But a lot of like successful man, and then what gym you were talking about? We're not talking about just like what
Oh,
is
so
this
you're going to
Planet
LA
Fitness?
Fitness. You're
No,
going to
we're
LA
going to the
Fitness signature.
Equinox.
Okay. Okay,
We're
now I
going to the
understand.
Equinox. We're
All right.
going to the Powerhouse Gym.
They're not them
The
Planet Fitness
peanut.
dudes. Them beat them.
No, no,
All
no.
right.
Lifetime
Mm-mm.
Fitness. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
LA Fitness
Lifetime.
exactly.
signature, I understand. Okay.
LA Fitness in a good area. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be a little bit. strategic about where the location is, but definitely yes, the gym. And also in the city, I feel like if you live in a big city, like you go to your city, I feel like they have a lot of thriving good men in that area. But I was really liking, I think Lady T said like a whole array of great attributes for a good man. And I liked everything that she said. I would 100% agree with that because a good
The
man, we
only
want a man that can be responsible and supportive, all those attributes you said. So I definitely think they're still out here, but they're not actually being the aggressor. I feel like the good men out here are not the ones taking the initiative to court you or woo you to be with them because they kind of are humble and they kind of are busy doing what they're doing. So I was actually having a debate with my friend today saying that, a man should always pursue the woman, right? And I always feel that way. A man should pursue the woman, but I feel like we have to put ourselves in position to be pursued by that good man because he's not gonna take hints and he's not gonna be over forward because he already know he has a whole bunch of great attributes. He knows that he's focused on his goal and he's doing what he has to do and he feels like that woman that he will marry will come in to his life, like, a good way. But I feel like we have to put ourselves in position. Maybe we're not gonna go out there and pursue the man, but like how you were saying, your wife would hit you up like, how's it going? How is everything good? Are you good? That's normal. Like I feel like I would check up on a good man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you good over there? How's work? So that's what I have to say.
So the only attribute that I did leave out, and God forgive me for this, but definitely he needs to be a God-fearing man. Okay? Because I didn't say that. At least I don't think I did. But yeah, that's definitely important too. So I
And
had
the
to say
sad
that.
part about it is that word is misused and abused. God fearing man is thrown out there like, ooh, you gotta make
Well,
sure
and
for
it's
real.
crazy because I don't really like the whatever. But he needs to believe in God.
Do you want to describe what that means, Chelsea? The proper.
On there.
God fearing means you're following. For example, if you're a Christian, you're not out here. If you're a single Christian, you're not out here fornicating. That's what you shouldn't be doing. Most Christians are doing that, but I'm saying like a real
Everybody
God fearing
disqualified.
one. Not this
Everybody
one.
disqualified.
Not everybody. Some people following the Bible, but I'm saying like for real, that's what it means. God fear means you're not out here fornicating. You really focused on your mission, on your purpose. But yeah, a lot of people are just out here just sleeping with everybody, and they wonder why they can't find the right one because they're being distracted, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Destigmatized. So yeah, but I just really think you're really on your grind and you're not out here fornicating and sleeping with a bunch of women. You try to really pursue her and court her because it's a totally different process between courting and dating anyway,
Mm.
right? I'm just saying. It's a different process.
That's very true.
Yeah, it is.
So, did everyone have a chance to speak on this? Because I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, I just wanted to say
Yes.
something real quick about what Caro said. I'm getting some feedback.
The credit's
Um,
coming from you, Naga.
what's that?
They kind of started the plane about to take off.
I think it may be Bill.
I'm muted and it was still going. Um,
I
I
think it's
think it.
Bell's and yours.
I think Bill has to mute, Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought.
There we go. So I just wanted to just touch on something that Caro said. Shout out to you, Caro, because I think a lot of women don't understand the difference between making yourself available to that person and pursuing. And I think that's why some women are so apprehensive to shooting their shot or initiating conversation or initiating contact because they're under the impression that that means that they're going to be pursuing that man. But they're not the same thing, right? Like pursuing takes a lot more work than just making yourself available for a conversation or for contact or for whatever, right? And so I think the moment that women get more comfortable initiating conversations and understanding that and giving that man enough room to pursue if that's really what he wants to do, that would really change a whole lot of dynamics. So I just wanted to shout you out because a lot of women don't really get that difference.
Okay. So, is everybody ready for me to play devil's advocate? Can you hear me? So, I like to paint the whole picture. I love the conversations. Definitely everyone made excellent points. And I know that there are good men out there. I know that they still exist. But there's a lot of bad guys that exist too. And I was having this conversation with my brother, and he's so funny. He made like a rule. He said it's easier to give 20% of your time and effort to 5 different women than it is to give 100% to one woman. And I was explaining that. Well, how does that make sense? He said, let's just say I'm going out with a girl on Monday. He said, I can take her out to eat. I can put on a nice shirt. I can have a conversation. He said, if I want to go out with that same girl on Tuesday, I have to have a different outfit. I have to have different conversation. I have to have, he said, but if I go out with a different girl, I can wear the same shirt if I want to. I can have the same conversation. I can take her to the same place. He said, you have to give more effort when you want to consistently build with someone. He says, so a lot of guys these days, they don't want to make that effort. So they're just like, I'll just have my rotating women, and it's easier, it's simple until you're ready to like actually settle down and be with that person. So a lot of guys will play with women versus like focus on one. And you guys can debunk this if you like. When he explained it to me, I was
Can
like,
you repeat that quote, please?
the quote.
In the beginning, you said it's easier to what?
He said it's easier to give 20% of your time to 5 different women than it is to give 100% of your time to one woman.
Oh yeah, I think didn't I say that earlier or something along those lines? Not with that quote, but pretty much like swipe culture. Like, God forbid you hold a man to a higher standard, especially when he's used. Shoot, what she called it, the handsome handout? That doesn't just apply to quote unquote handsome men. Like, they don't have to give of themselves fully and completely to any one person. And God forbid a woman holds him accountable for maybe falling short or not seeing him as this Adonis or pedestalize him in the way that he wants her to, and starts to tell him like, hey, I really felt uncomfortable when you did this or that. Then it's like, all right, yeah, next. Like, it's getting too serious. Next. I don't want to hear that shit next. You know what I mean? Pardon my French, but yeah, I think a lot of guys do feel that way because it's like, how dare you try to correct me and tell me something about me isn't perfect? How dare you not worship the ground I walk on? Like, yeah, I think that does make sense. I feel like it's a lot easier for folks to be with people that don't see them because relationships are definitely exposés, and the longer you spend time with people, the more you get to see, the little things that you may end up having to quote unquote tolerate or overlook or compromise on. And some people know how to gracefully speak to those things and tactfully speak to those things without making someone else feel uncomfortable or insecure. And sometimes they don't. And guys tend to not want to have to hear about those things. So, yeah, I do agree. I think for a lot of guys, it is easier for them to date. I mean, if they have the bankroll for it, 5 women, than it is to date one.
I mean, it doesn't have to be 5, but it's just it's the point. Like you can have like your rotating women versus giving that 100% effort to one. And Lapeef, are you talking? Because you're muted. Oh, okay. Can you hear? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah. So I don't know. I think sometimes somebody exercising their options doesn't make them a bad person, right? Like, especially if they're not in a relationship, they're not courting, they're not married. I think it's actually really smart to be dating multiple people or getting to know multiple people to weigh your options to understand who's the best fit for you, right? So I don't think that a man exercising his options makes him not a good man, right? I think it actually makes him a really smart man. But the guys that do it routinely and never really settle down, I would have 2 questions, right? Like, are you avoiding intimacy or are you continuously choosing people who give you surface level interactions, right? Because there's everything's two-sided, right? There are a lot of women out there that are very surface level on these dates, very like he's probably having the same conversation with those women throughout the week and everybody's giving the same canned responses, right? And so if you don't stick out in the crowd, what's really pushing that man to continue? What's piquing his interest? What's pulling his curiosity? What's the thing that's saying, like, you know what? I have all of these other options, but let me give this one 30% and I give the rest of them a little bit less. Let me increase that to 40. Like, what are you doing to bring that to the table? And I think sometimes we put so much pressure on a man for exercising his options that we would rather hold back and have an inauthentic exchange just to protect our own feelings than to really engage with that person human to human and really have like an understanding and take a chance to see what happens and what can grow and really vet each other.
So if you were getting to know a guy and you found out he was same thing, like not a relationship or sexual, just he was getting to know four other women, like, oh, I can't talk to you right now, I'm on the phone with Susan. Would that bother you, or would you be okay with it?
Honestly, I operate under the assumption that that man is always getting to know multiple women at the same
Yep.
time. I don't even ask the question. Like, it's just an automatic assumption.
I don't. So I'm weirded out because I don't know. Women are weird. I thought y'all wanted a dude that had all these options, and secretly, no matter what you say, you do. Women want a man with multiple options. So it's the dude who's willing to focus on you that's corny, that's getting curved in society. I don't understand how. Like, I definitely hear what you're saying, Kelly, but the part that I think this is where a lot of the fantasy comes in of what women think they want versus reality, right? And also, um, we always say that naturally when it's because a woman really likes a guy that she all of a sudden wants exclusivity of his attention. But we don't ever talk about what a woman is doing because I also expect that a woman is talking to multiple guys. And she should expect that if I have multiple options, if I'm highly sought after in these streets, that if we are a match, I'm going to choose you. I'm going to invest more time and I'm going to nurture that relationship. I'm telling you right now, there's never been a time in my life where I felt like the getting was good and I wasn't talking to multiple women. It didn't make me a bad guy. I would give equal amount of attention to what I could give. Not that I had to get off on the phone or anything like that. I would be respectful and nurture every relationship that I wanted to. Right? So
So just because so I think just because women want desirable men don't mean we want like men that are accessible to every woman. I think that's like a thing guys like to say, oh, women want guys with like a bunch of options, just like guys want women with a bunch of options, or women that a lot of like all the men want but can't necessarily get, like I just wanted to speak to that. Like, yeah, we do want a man that is influential, has a presence, um, impactful. I
well,
mean,
I,
it's kind
I'll
of
say this. I'll say this. Is it the same? Are we the same, men and women? Are we the same?
no.
No, absolutely not. And who does the choosing? And got to choose someone to marry and have kids by.
Men,
We
men
Women.
do.
control marriage.
We do. So naturally, I'm going to vet hard. In fact, the reason why it may be taking so long, some people aren't understanding that. Yes, if you find out, I understand how that could be jarring. Like, oh, he's talking to someone else. I was really feeling him. I thought we had a thing. But do you understand how nerve wracking it is to even think that you might make the wrong choice? Oh, y'all are women. I know y'all. I know y'all know that. Cause y'all women will carry on whole relationships with one foot out the damn door, hoping that other dude comes to his senses and call them back. I don't want to hear that stuff today. Y'all better not gaslight this conversation.
Mm,
That doesn't
I
happen.
don't know where they doing that at.
yeah, I
I
can't
can't
relate to
relate. I
that.
know, can't relate.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why is he
Eesh,
putting on his chapstick? Like, yeah.
horror stories.
So I
Y'all
have
got
another question.
one foot out the door.
I have another
Mm.
question.
Not all women, I think.
Not all women, of course. Not all, but
So,
not all, but too many. It's like remember the conversation we had before. If you're going to participate in pretty privilege, if you're going to get all of those DMs, eventually you're going to answer one. Eventually, you're going to get upset and test the waters and test the field. That is what we're working with in today's society. Attention is the drug. And when you get some of it, you're going to exercise your options as a woman. See, it's funny how, since the beginning of time, men have been the only ones who can exercise options. But now we're looking at a time where women can also do so. So I'm not naive enough to think that women don't. That's all I'm saying.
But I
But
think for
Mike,
women, oh, sorry.
There's
Huh?
somebody.
Go
Uh,
ahead,
she's,
though.
she's on
Okay,
the
I
cell
think
phone.
for women it's a little bit different because women get attached very fast. So I would recommend no women to actually do this to exercise like the options because we get distracted way easy. I understand why men do this because like you said, men have to choose at the end. So I personally don't mind if a guy I just started talking to is talking to other women as long as he's respectful with it and don't always tell me this because I think I rather have a man who had the options and still chose me than somebody who is just with me because he has no options or because I forced him to because most time this type of relationships end up with somebody cheating or doing or stepping out the relationship. So yeah, like I said, I don't understand why women would actually have like a roster, I think you call it, of men, because that's I think that's one of the main reason why a lot of women just stay single now because they just don't know how to find the good men anymore because they have like a whole team of different men to look for so they don't really know which one is actually good for them so
It,
one make a mistake she switches to the next one and like yeah
and sorry to
so
say
I
it, but a lot
understand
of
why men
time,
do this.
We
Oh,
a
we
lot
got
of time that's the male friends. Male friends are usually what a woman's roster is.
oh yeah,
Pay
male
attention to the
friends,
male
that's
friends.
different. Yeah, that's different with male friends. But I'm speaking about the women who really have
y'all
like
breaking sister code right now.
Monday,
Yeah, I know that.
Tuesday,
No,
Wednesday changing the men, like because she just wants to feel special. Like, oh yeah, a lot of people want me. So if she was not used to this kind of attention, I think it's easier for some women to just feel like they are doing something by having this kind of team. So
I feel like I'm epileptic on the stream right now. I don't know what's
yeah,
going
we all are.
on. All right. Damn, what was I gonna say? So we got to be careful. That's a trigger word on the Lapeef Network. The last time somebody said roster, last time we had a conversation about women having rosters, things kind of went south. I'm just saying.
that's because you guys associate roster with sex. I think women can date
What the hell is the roster for then, Kelly? What's it for?
to
So, oh my
know
God,
people
wow.
and not
A
waste their
roster of attention? What does
no.
attention turn into?
No, to get to know people and not waste time. So you always say that women have a time clock, right? Oh, yeah, it runs out, you're in the red zone or whatever. So if you are dating multiple people, not having sex, but having conversations, getting to know them, meeting them in person, going to
Multi-vetting,
coffee, and you're
Kelly.
like, hey, this guy, in 3 months, he would have wasted your time, right? But if you're dating two or three people, like, okay, now that time is just not gone completely. He definitely was vetted and he didn't make the cut. But
Hey,
these other two guys, they're like head to head, and like, but one is usually gonna shine through. Like, I like this guy more. We connect better. Our souls align. Like, but
all right, Kelly. Do you know why I'm calling Cap? Do you know why I'm calling Cap on this?
go
Because
ahead.
where we from, if for y'all that don't know, me and Kelly from the same area. All right, so where we're from, for some reason, all the top dogs, right? So I'm big, huge party promoter. My dad and my uncle own strip clubs. Everybody know, I'm the Dollar Bill Junior. I got money. I drive the nice drop top Mercedes, right? That means that whoever I was at that time, I'm guaranteed every other top dog in that area, we all date the same women or are running through the same pretty ass women. The funny thing is that when we find out about each other, when this woman has this roster that we talk about, and I know I'm on it, and where we're from, every club gets shut down. So everybody goes to do the same shit every Friday and Saturday night. So I'm going to see that girl that I'm dating that I thought I was dating by myself. I'm gonna see her out with another dude. There is no way dudes that know they're doing it like that, right? There's no way I see a woman out with a dude of that caliber and he's sticking around without sex. That's how we know y'all capping. If he's been around this long, y'all smashing. Because
Okay.
that dude does not casually date.
I
Neither
have a,
do I.
I have a question for you, Trigger Mike.
Mhm.
Did you know Aaron?
Which Aaron?
Tall guy. He was into party promoting too. He went to Norfolk State.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. If he went to Norfolk State, I know it. Oh yeah, light skin.
Yeah, tall.
That's my homie.
Handsome, right. In college, he tried to date me, but I would not go out with him because obviously he wanted more than what I was willing to give. So we didn't end up talking, but we went out, we had a conversation. He's like, "Oh, you're one of those girls that it would be hard to get. I'm not even going to waste my time with you." So you're telling me if I went out with him, then I'm considered on his roster? Like, I think men know the type of women that will go for it and won't. He
No,
tried
but
to
if
date
you
college.
saying you didn't give him the time of day, what I'm saying is if I saw you out with him multiple times, and this is actually pretty funny. I told you that's my homie.
Yeah, I
We've
remember.
had conversations like, hey, we would do a huddle, me, him, and my other and our other homie. We would do a huddle. And I'm really feeling this chick who smashed before. Right? So we know that if he wants to talk about a woman that he's dating like that, that means he's been out with her multiple times. He's going to bring her around the fellas, all of that. We won't see you with him and think he hasn't smashed. You're saying that he's interested in you, but you wouldn't give him the time of day, so he would not. He wouldn't date you seriously. I'm talking about women that go out with these guys. If I see you out with him and I get the word from the homies like, yeah, they've been probably going out for about 2 months. You can't expect a man not to think you're smashing both that dude and you and that dude at the same time. That's what we believe. You can't even convince us otherwise, to be honest.
But they do eventually settle down with a woman, a good woman.
Eventually, sure, yeah.
Okay. So let's just say he tried to date your wife before you knew her, but she didn't do anything with him. Did she that make her not a good woman? If she was
No, nobody's saying that. You can't stop a woman from being hit on. Absolutely not. So
okay. I have no question. I do have another question though. I know a lot of people mention they do still believe good men exist. A lot of people have also mentioned that they know good men. There are good men in their lives right now. But I remember in the past, a lot of people would introduce their good men friends or brothers or cousins, whatever, to a good woman. I know this woman. I think that you guys would really match up. Are people still doing that? Because Chelsea, you said you have a good man. Inez says she knows good men. Lady T knows good men. Why not? Are people not introducing them anymore?
I don't think they are. I don't know what's going on because most of the people I know who are good men, they're actually out of the state. That's one thing, but I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. Maybe it's the
That
distance, but I think. Go ahead.
that used to be a way people would meet. They'd be like, oh, I have
Right.
for you.
I would prefer that for sure. Instead of meeting somebody blindly, I prefer to meet somebody who is through somebody. That would make the most sense to
yeah,
me, but I don't know if most people are doing that.
I mean it's a
Well,
natural. Yeah, go
Maybe.
ahead.
yeah, I do like adult game nights and stuff where like I'll bring like my single girlfriends to hang out with my single guy friends and whatever happens, happens. I'm not playing Cupid because I don't want to be held responsible for anyone
Yeah.
crashing
Hmm.
or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Those game
However,
nights, those game nights just usually end up in people smashing and then
Oh my.
them not coming to game night. I'm sorry, that's
listen,
what game
they're
night is good for.
mature. Y'all so
Okay.
sex censored. There are some people that are not bumping
Sure,
nasties every day of their
sure.
lives. Like, hello?
Yeah, I don't know where those people at. 'Cause most people bumping nasties. You tripping?
Yeah, well, I'm not, so I can't speak for most people. Okay.
All right.
And some of my friends who are single are not. Majority of my friends who are, well, I only have two single friends, but they're not. So, no.
Yeah,
Like,
I,
it
I
doesn't
will
work like
say,
that.
yeah, I will say that it's really a sign of the times. Of course, people aren't introducing people to other people. It's just a sign of the times. Women don't want men's help because they don't think they need it in order to find a good man. Obviously, that's not working. So it's now distasteful for your brother or your father to make a good decision for you because women are so defiant. That is a that is a testament to women's defiance today. Women detest the man that they're supposed to marry or they're supposed to take seriously because they didn't choose them for themselves. That's the part of the freedom culture that we have now. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
Well, that's unfortunate because I do know a lot of good men and I want them to be happy with good women.
Where
They
they
don't
at?
want to be happy though. I think we need to call it like it is. They love
I'm
toxicity. I'm
serious.
sorry. Women love toxicity. They want the diary of a mad black woman. They want the nigga to slap them. They want to live in a movie. They they want yeah, they want him to have multiple baby mamas, but they want to be the most important one. Women are screwed up in the head. I'm sorry. Y'all try to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
But I do.
That's modern women.
I am
Not every
responsible.
woman.
I'm responsible for at least 3 or 4 marriages. It's like I'm like, oh, I know a guy for you. Oh, I know a girl, and then I'll get them together and they hit it off. I'm like, I better be invited to the wedding because I made this happen. Because I don't know. I hear people like, oh, that's what you're looking for. That's what you're like. Okay, and I make it happen. But a lot of people don't do that anymore. And I want people to be happy, especially when I know they're a good person. I feel like they deserve to be in a happy.
Yeah, one of my close guy friends, actually, his girlfriend's birthday is today. I kind of like nudged him to like be with her, and they've been together now for about 5 years. Happy. I think I kind of like we're close, but I don't speak to him as much, obviously, because he's in a relationship, and you kind of that's what you do, back the hell up. But he did tell me he was gonna pop a question. I need to find out whether or not he did it because I think her birthday was today. If it's not today, then it's tomorrow. Well, today. Yeah, so I
Yeah,
love love, so I'm always try to encourage it if possible, but I also like to stay up out of it. So I might be a little, mad scientist and be like, when I do my events, I'm like, these people, their personalities would mix well in the room. He's a good guy, whatever. And I might have an idea of who I think would hit it off, and that typically does happen that way. But to be like, hey, meet this person, they're single, and make it awkward and all that stuff. No, I'm not doing that.
So, Lady T, I gotta ask. I gotta ask.
Go ahead.
Why do all women think they're good matchmakers?
I don't feel like I'm a good matchmaker, so I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But I feel like I know how to curate a space. I do event planning, so like that like I know how to like create a pretty dope space. But
Yeah.
as far as
No,
me
I'm
saying,
not even asking for you. I'm asking for my wife. Literally, she it will be any of my friends. It'll be my frat brothers and even oh damn Kelly and Jr. You remember when we went out? Um, and they were like, and then and homie V Madden came out with us. My wife was like, "Ooh, maybe I could introduce you." I was like, "Stop, stop, stop! I know these people. No, no, you a terrible matchmaker. Terrible. Stop." Like women always think they're the greatest matchmakers.
I don't
No,
think there's
stop
anything
it.
wrong with introduction, and then the two people can figure it out.
Okay, you know what? There is something wrong, and I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you right now. Every time she does that, it is void of the thinking of what men actually want. So I'm not going to embarrass myself by letting my wife introduce a man who can get a high caliber woman to a like an overweight big girl. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it. He going to look at me and text me later like, "What the hell was that about, bro?"
Oh
God
my
damn.
God, you need to hit some type of emoji for that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not letting that happen.
So
She be tripping. I'm like, I got a reputation out here. He gonna be like, I ain't talking to this dude Trigger no more. The hell was that?
so
Wow.
I almost had the same situation with my current partner because he has like a lot of God-fearing good men on his side, and he's always like, yeah, I would love to introduce them to some like nice women to marry. And I was like, oh, nice, I have like a lot of really pretty girls in my church, I could show them. And I sent him some pictures and he was like, yeah, he was not impressed. So we just stopped the conversation there because I was like really sure, yeah, they would like, he would, they would love this kind of girls. And yeah, what I saw in them, he didn't. So
Yo, I'm trying to like, why is it always the big girls? Can y'all let me know why y'all be getting the widest knees, cankle having
oh,
ass,
stop, stop,
arthritis
stop
having ass
it,
women to introduce to our friends?
Mike.
What
That is
on
not
earth be wrong
nice.
with y'all? Y'all
I'll
better
answer
stop
your
it.
question. I'll tell you. it's the same reason that men will show a picture of a dude who is clearly unattractive, who's not doing so great in life, and saying, that this is the man you women should be marrying, right? I think there's like a point to prove of like, this is a good person. Their insides are fantastic. They've got a good spirit. They've got great character. Their outside may not necessarily match their inside, right? And so it's not always a great decision because it doesn't always, if they're not naturally choosing each other, if that person isn't naturally attracted to that, obviously it doesn't make sense, right? But I think there's this need for people to look past a person's exterior.
Hmm.
Um, Not saying that it's the right decision to do when you're trying to match people up, but I do agree with you that women are not the best matchmakers. I think we look at things differently a lot of the time, especially when it comes to a man, and then when it comes to friendships, because, and I used to tell this to my girlfriends or my friends in general, like the aspect of you, the relationship you have with that person is a friendship relationship or a work relationship. You have no idea what they're like inside of a romantic relationship. And so when you're making this assessment of you two are going to fit together, you're making an ill-informed decision, right? Like you're seeing it based on the relationship you have with those people and not who they are as individuals a lot of the time. Whereas I think men don't do that. I think men sit there and be like, okay, well, this is his personality, not my relationship to him. This is his personality. And I think it would make sense with this person's personality, right? I think men tend to be better matchmakers in that front.
Nice. And to that person that
I
said that
know.
Africans like big girls, we need to amend
Default.
that.
What?
Well, African men do have an appreciation for the bigger boned women.
Yeah, but when we say this is the thing we got to do. When we say appreciation, are they marrying these women?
Some
Not are
are.
they?
I
Yeah.
think,
So
Mhm.
yeah.
it
Why are
in
y'all
the
talking
cultures.
about
Go
big
ahead.
girls married? There's a lot of big girls that
Yeah.
for their wives.
Exactly. When how did they become big?
That's
That's
not
what I.
the big
That's what my
girls.
point is. Did they come big? Become big after having four of his children?
No, there's some big girls that walk down the aisle. That's why they have fat girl dresses.
Nah, I'm not sold.
Yeah.
I mean, some men are attracted to that. Not all men.
Yeah.
Some
African like thick girls. Maybe not big girls, but they like thick girls.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
sandwich away, Lady Mogalet. One sandwich away.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in Germany, a lot of people also think that because a lot of African, I'm also African, and the ones who just get here and they don't have like a green card, you would say in the US, so they get with a lot of big girls in order for them just to stay, but it's not really that they're attracted to that. So sorry.
Watch out for the big girl. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go
but
ahead.
they're
Go
not
ahead.
really attracted to it. So you can, like, most times you can see, like, not the pain in their eyes, but, like, they don't feel comfortable when you look at them because
Facts.
most times it's just the situation they're in that makes them having that. But there are also a lot of people who are into it, but that's not, like, the majority or the rule or something. So, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Any final thoughts? This whole struggle string, it's got me in
Funk.
a moment. I have been trying to correct the boxes and the issues and stuff behind there, trying to play around with this stuff. But it is, man, never again, never again.
I think we pushed through it though. Shout out to y'all. I think it was still a dope conversation.
Yeah, it was.
I agree.
I actually think that sound issue may. I think I may correct this. I think that sound issue may have something to do with. So typically, you guys sound okay for the most part, and I think that it's just carrying over a lot more with this software. But nevertheless, if I miss any super chats, my apologies again. I cannot see who super chatted or not. I could probably go on YouTube and see if I can catch it. But if it was a low number, I probably timed out already. So I apologize in advance. I'll be sure to correct this issue before we have another live stream. I thank you guys on the panel for being patient with me. I know it's been a long road, Trigger Mike is going live tomorrow in the morning, you guys. What's that topic, Trigger Mike? Did he dip out? It's probably software.
Probably booted him.
Yeah, the topic is let me see. The topic tomorrow is the rise of the passive man. The rise of the passive man. That's the topic for tomorrow. So should be another bang in the books. Make sure you guys check them out on the Lapeef Networks page. And with that being said, I want to thank the panel. Anybody have any final words? Anything?
I think we should get back to reintroducing good men to good women.
If you know any Kelly, let me know, please.
In fact, where are you located?
Yes, ma'am.
They're in Florida. Where are you?
I'm in Detroit,
I don't know any.
but I'm willing to travel.
But I'm saying it's just a flight away. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like 2-hour flight.
Right. Okay.
Well,
That's
I'm
great.
just saying thank you to everyone. I think it was a dope panel. And shout out to the super chats, even though we didn't read them. All but the negative ones, because I know there's some of those in there sometimes.
Hey,
No,
negative.
everybody on YouTube is positive, Lady T. So you gotta worry about that.
Okay.
It's all
Shout out to the negative super chats because it's a show. I feel like if they're commenting, at least they're still watching and paying to talk. So thank you for the negative and the positive super chats. Keep them. That's all.
Yeah, Kelly could give y'all props for being negative. I won't. I stand by what I said.
I'll take every dollar of your negativity. Thank you. Super chat $100 of negativity.
Super chat.
All right, let me figure this out right quick. This is crazy. It's awkward.
Oh, how to end it?
I know how to end it. I was just trying to.
That button up there.
No, I know it's the button right there. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Something else.
Hope you guys have a great week ahead.
I'm ready to end it, man. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you too.
All right.